Okay, welcome to another episode of Website Reviews. So, today we are going to look at the website of a charity organization. It's called Building Hearts. So, let's take a look and see how we can optimize their homepage for them. So, the very first second that we always go through is we need to understand within the first 7 seconds, we need to ask ourselves, what are we trying to tell our visitors? So, in the mind of a prospective visitor, what are the things that they will think about in the first 7 seconds? The first thing is, where am I? Am I in the right place? Okay, I can see building hearts, some pictures that indicate some form of charity. Seems like it. Then, secondly, what can I do here? Are there any clear call to action buttons? Are there any indication of what am I here for? What is the objective of this homepage? And then thirdly, why you? Why Willing Hearts? I mean, assuming that I'm a prospective donor, I'm looking to help give back to society, and then I chance upon this website, your homepage. So you have to maybe explain to me or tell me why you maybe in my opinion could be you could explain your high overheads. I realize that many charity organizations they have these high overheads, but unless you're really in the organization itself, you wouldn't understand how high are the overheads. Like for example, I read about some organization. I remember, I think it was Voices, no, not Voices for Animals, it's Animals Lovers League. So they mentioned on their page that they had $30,000 in monthly rental overheads, and that came as a surprise to me. It made me went for this flag day for them because I wanted to give back to society. I wanted to help these homeless shelters, um, to help the homeless dogs. So these are the figures that justify to people, give them a sense of reason to why they need to help you. Because otherwise, in my mind back then, I always thought and believed that, oh, charity organizations, what, they should have a lot of donors lah. I mean, a small donor, small car like me wouldn't make a difference lah. Just a $10-20 for me won't make a difference, so I forget about it lah. So this is the kind of mindset I had back then. I didn't know, and $30,000 in rental sounds really daunting. It sounds like a big figure for me, and I really wanted to do my part. So every little bit helps, and this is why I believe that justifying why could be a reason for people to donate, to further encourage them to donate and help out. So one thing I would like to say is, I'm sure we all realize and saw this sliding banner thing at the right of the top. One thing I would like to note is, you see from these pictures, okay, this is relevant. This picture is relevant. Let's look at the next. Okay, I don't understand how this is relevant to a charity. I mean, it may show that there are a group of volunteers, but I don't understand what this picture is trying to show. It's not very clear. I see the red basket. I see a truck, but it doesn't tell me much. So, in my opinion, what I will recommend, and you see, the sliding banner just jump, 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 jump. It just like fast forward very fast. It's making, there's no clear eye path. Um, it's making the vision to your website not very clear. It's jumping all over the place, and it's making my eyes a bit tired, to be honest. So this is why I have this thing against these sliding banners, which web designers nowadays, they just like to use it, to overuse it actually, to make websites look nice, designish, but it doesn't really help unless it's really relevant. Just look at it from a first time visitor's perspective and you understand what I mean. So let's take a look. And then what I would say is, these are three pictures, it feels somewhat like three person, three people talking to me at the same time. So who do I listen to first? And okay, would it be, do you think that it would be better if you had a headline, a sub headline, and a few short sentences to describe, maybe example, what Willing Heart does? So you can say that you're a charity, you can say that with some bullet points that okay, bullet point saying okay, we operate a soup restaurant. Second bullet point, you can say we distribute 5,000 daily meals to over 40 locations uh, every day, instead of like putting it in such a long, wordy, lengthy sentences that just tire people out. And we look at the next picture, the one in the middle. A day has a WH volume. You didn't complete the sentence, probably due to restrictions on this page, because you squeeze everything in one single page lah. So what I will do is to ease the eye path of your visitor, format your content in a vertical manner, flowing downwards, so that you can control the flow of what you are trying to talk to your visitors about. Because remember that a homepage purpose is to have this mental conversations with your visitors. It's not just talking at them, but you want to talk to them, and you want to make things as simple and clear as possible. And what I always believe in marketing is we must make things as clear and easy to understand that even 12 years old can understand. So instead of using big words, complicated words, make it as simple as possible, make it easy to digest. And yeah, so I would also like to say is there's no, okay, people are quite skeptical nowadays, because on the internet suddenly I have a rich uncle in Nigeria telling me that I have inherited $10 million. So these are some of the reasons why people on the internet are quite skeptical, and what you would want to do is to overcompensate and dispel any doubts that they have. So I'm sure you have some okay, I'm not so sure, but you may have some awards, you may have some testimonials or pictures with famous celebrities or ministers that you can use, especially with ministers, well-known ministers, or influencers even. Or you can even include, and you can even include your charity registration number. You can also include some more things to validate that okay, this is a real and legit organization, and I would want to say yes to it. So the purpose of a homepage is actually to also build many micro yeses, which leads up to the ultimate macro yes. So we must start by building this little tiny little bit of yeses along the way, along the flow chart as we go along. So some of the other things that we should look at is there's no clear call to action button, and it just feels like I'm not being given enough information. So there are a few things that we should also ask ourselves. So what's the appeal? One of the things is, what's the appeal of your organization, and what would make, as I mentioned earlier, donors would like to know, how can my donations make a difference? So back to my point, back then I didn't think that my $10-20 could make a difference. And next, what would be your exclusive offer? So I went deeper into your webpage because I wanted to find out more. So I found that you're selling a cookbook, and it costs $38, and all the proceeds will actually go to the donation itself. Okay, donation effort itself. But what if I'm a guy single in my 30s and I don't need a cookbook? Have you ever thought that, are you trying to appeal just to housewives? What about me? I don't need a cookbook, so you don't give me a reason to donate. So what I would suggest is, instead of selling a cookbook, would it be better if you gave it for free with every donation of a minimum $38? Just an example. If you think about it, basically it's both the same thing. It costs you the same thing. And you can also indicate in your next form, do you need the cookbook? If you don't need the cookbook, then we can save on the cost. I mean, you can just indicate there lah. And I'm sure there are people, you don't give them a specific reason like, okay, I buy the cookbook because I need a cookbook lor, or I donate because I need a cookbook lor, or I will only donate if I need a cookbook. The purpose of you doing this right here, it seems to me like you're just selling the cookbook to get the donations. But why not, if it costs the same thing to you, give it for free with a minimum of $38 in donation? It's essentially the same thing. Okay, so the next I would like to say is, the eye path must be smooth and not trying to jumble all over the place. There's no clear navigation. Okay, so home pages usually is like, how do I put it? Let's say I'm going to your house right now, and you don't give me a clear navigation as to which room is your toilet, which room is your father's room, which room is your room, and which room is the visitor's room. I have no idea. So as I can see this little navigation thing here, you see this blue color thing here. So it's not a real indication of it's not really clear. It's not a clear navigation for me to go to different parts of your website. And the purpose of a home page is to direct the users to exactly where they want to see, what they want to see, where they want to be. So my last suggestion is to indicate what is the purpose of the donation, how can it help, and for example, give an example, like say for every $100 that is donated, it can feed the elderly for 1 month. So you quantify the purpose of the donations, and even if it's not entirely possible because of accounting purposes, you give an example. Just give an example. It's just like how back then I still am. I donated to WWF, and they actually let me choose and indicate the purpose of my donation. So, for example, there are a lot of endangered wildlife. There's a lot of things that WWF do, like I think cleaning up the ocean of the junk, and tiger conservations. So I love tigers. So I actually made a monthly donation, recurring donation to these WWF tiger conservations. So what they do is, here and there they will update me on, how are my donations doing, how are the tigers doing, their population increase. And just last Christmas they even sent me a plushie of a tiger. So I mean, it's how nice, how thoughtful. These are the little things that will help your donors continue on, because you give them updates, you give them clarity, you give them a reason to continue, give them a reason to help spread the word for you. And even though running a charity is a non-for-profit organization, but still, as a marketer, it's our job to fight for the donors, because donors are money, and money is important for every aspect of it, of your organization. So today we ended this review. I hope you like it, and if there's any way I can do to help, please feel free to let me know, and we'll see how we can help optimize your page even better for higher conversion rate. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.